Hello there. Welcome back to the Unite Pieces channel. Today we will recap action-adventure movies. From the year 2010, titled The Expendables. This movie tells the story a group of elite mercenaries are tasked with overthrowing a Latin American dictator, who they soon find out is just a puppet controlled by a ruthless ex-CIA officer. So, make sure you watch this video till the end, for a better experience. At the beginning of the movie we will be shown with a group of pirates who are holding several citizens hostage on a ship. At this time the pirates are doing a live broadcast. They ask the government to give $5 million to redeem the hostages. If the government refuses, then the hostages will be killed. At the same time, a group of mercenaries named the Expendables is heading to the location. This group consists of the leader named Barney Ross, and its members, Lee Christmas, Gunnar Jensen, and Yin Yang. Arriving there they immediately threw a bag containing $3 million to the pirates, but they felt insulted because the amount of money given was below what they had asked for. Just before the pirates executed one of the hostages, Gunnar, who was known to be easily angered, shot him to destruction. After that there was a shootout between them. It seemed that this group was very easy to defeat the pirates. Gunnar, who was still upset with them, intended to hang one of the pirates' corpses, but Barney, who knew about it, immediately reprimanded Gunnar, because he had acted out of bounds. However, ignoring Barney's words, Yin, who was also upset with Gunnar's behavior, immediately approached and beat him up, until they had to be resolved at gunpoint by Barney. After that they all rushed home. Arriving at the headquarters, Barney was visited by his old friend named Tool. Here Tool was ordered to clean the tattoo on Barney's back, and they were seen talking. Here Barney said if he intended to remove Gunnar from the team, because Gunnar was very unruly. Suddenly, they got a phone call from someone, who asked Barney to do a job. Then Barney asked Tool to tell the caller to arrange a meeting place. The next day, Barney met someone who had previously called, and it was discovered he was named Mr. Church. Not only Barney, he had also called another mercenary named Trench. It was revealed that Trench turned out to be a former member of the Expendables. After all gathered, here Mr. Church offered them to kill a ruthless general named Garza, who was on the island of Valena. Hearing that, Trench withdrew from this mission and gave it to Barney, because he felt that killing the general at his headquarters was something that was impossible. Unlike Trench, Barney happily accepted the mission if the reward was $5 million. He also requested that half of the reward be given in advance. Hearing this, Mr. Church agreed, but he also threatened Barney, if Barney took away the money without completing the mission, then he would hunt Barney and his members wherever they went. News of Barney getting a new job spread quickly, and reached Gunnar's ears. He met Barney and asked Barney to include him in the mission. However, Barney, who was already annoyed with Gunnar's behavior, decided to remove Gunnar from the team. Gunnar, who did not accept being expelled just like that, then left there while threatening Barney. Then Barney gathered all his members to explain in more detail about his mission this time. He said that if this mission was to kill a general named Garza who was on the island of Valena, he and Lee would go there first to observe the situation. The next day their mission was carried out. Arriving there they disguised themselves as animal photographers. On the way, Barney and Lee prepared to meet an acquaintance. There they witnessed how cruelly General Garza's soldiers behaved to the citizens. They acted very excessively just because the car they were riding was stopped by a truck a citizen. After witnessing that, they continued their journey. They waited at a food store there, and soon a woman named Sandra approached them. It turned out that she was a contact they were waiting for. After meeting, Sandra invited them to tour the island. While on the way Sandra told them that this island used to be very peaceful, but everything changed when an American named James came to the island. On the other hand, this person is James, who is visiting his farm. Here James is angry because no one is managing his farm. He also scolds General Garza for not being able to press harder on his people. But General Garza does not accept, because he is scolded by James in front of his men. Instead of softening, James presses even more by saying that the general should remember where he got so rich and powerful like today. On the way, Lee, who went to relieve himself, asked to be dropped off first. While waiting for Lee, Barney talked to Sandra, but in the middle of the conversation suddenly a group of soldiers came and they immediately tried to arrest Barney and Sandra. Fortunately, Lee arrived on time until the fight between them was inevitable. Fortunately, they both managed to finish off the soldiers. After that they hurried away from there. On the other hand, James got word of the intruders. He immediately ordered his men to find and capture them. Arriving at the port, Barney told Lee and Sandra to go to the plane, while he would hold the port guards. However, when she was about to get into the plane, Sandra suddenly changed her mind and refused to leave the island. On the other hand, Barney seemed to have difficulty finishing off the guards at the port. After that, Barney ran with all his might to the plane. In the plane, Barney decided to avenge the soldiers who had previously attacked him. He showered the soldiers with automatic bullets. After that, they showered the soldiers with gasoline. Then he fired his gun to make the place fall apart. That night at James's residence, he showed a video of how Barney and Lee could infiltrate. He also said that the general's daughter Sandra was the one who helped Barney and Lee. He also told his men to immediately arrest Sandra, because as a result of that incident 41 of their soldiers had to die. After General Garza left James's room, Gunner suddenly appeared to meet James. It turned out that Gunner, who was hurt after being expelled from the Expendables, now wanted to join James to kill Barney. At the same time Barney arrived at the Expendables headquarters, he decided to cancel the mission because it was too dangerous. At night, Barney came to Toole's place and said that he was very worried about Sandra's safety, because Sandra was the one who had helped him while there. It must have made him now hunted by the army. Hearing this, Toole gave Barney advice that he should try to save her, so that Barney would not feel regret later. While on Valena Island, at this time Sandra has been caught and is immediately interrogated while being tortured. The next day, Barney invites his members to save Sandra, but it is rejected by all of his members because it is certainly very dangerous. Hearing the rejection, Barney intends to go alone. Just as Barney is about to leave by car to the airport, Yin surprisingly comes to accompany him. Apparently Yin will not let his friend go in danger alone. When they were at a red light, suddenly they were attacked by Gunner and his henchmen. Fortunately they both managed to avoid, but Gunner, who did not want to let his prey escape, immediately chased him until the chase occurred. With his ingenuity, Barney managed to lead Gunner to a warehouse. Just before Barney crashed his car with the car driven by Gunner, he and Yin jumped first. And because of that Barney was unconscious while Yin, who was still conscious, immediately tried to beat Gunner, until the duel between them took place. When Yin was almost killed by Gunner, Barney woke up from his stupor and immediately shot Gunner. In a wounded state, Gunner told him that he was working with James to finish off the Expendables members, after which Gunner passed out. Upon arrival at the plane, it turned out that there were already members of Barney who decided to come with him. Long story short, after arriving on Valena Island, Barney's group went straight to James's headquarters. Here they planned to split up to find Sandra and finish off James. They began to finish off James's troops one by one. They also planted bombs in every corner of James's headquarters. While in James's room, General and James were seen arguing. Here General Garza felt that James had gone too far because he dared to torture his biological daughter. Then the general asked James to bring Sandra before him. At the same time, 2 soldiers came to Sandra's detention room. The 2 soldiers apparently intended to vent their lust for Sandra. Fortunately, Barney arrived on time and immediately finished them off. In the middle of his escape, Barney and Sandra were caught by Steve Austin and his men. Here Sandra was taken away to meet her father while Barney was tortured by them. Just as Barney was on the verge of death, members of the Expendables team came until the battle between the 2 groups was unheard. The Expendables team managed to eliminate almost all the enemy soldiers they faced there. At the same time, after the general met his beloved daughter, he immediately gave some money to James. He also immediately expelled James from his island, because he felt he would only see more death if he continued to follow James. Hearing that James certainly did not accept, when the conversation got hot, Sandra tried to mediate. The Expendables team opened the exit door from James's headquarters, and they were greeted by hundreds of waiting soldiers. Barney's group immediately retreated and hid behind the wall, while the general, who heard the commotion outside, immediately went to check it out. Seeing the general off guard, suddenly James shot him. Then he went to the helicopter that he had prepared to escape. The soldiers who saw their leader was dead, then vented their anger by blindly shooting at Barney's members, because the situation had made the Expendable team pressed. The team members asked Barney to detonate the bomb that had previously been installed. Without thinking, Barney immediately detonated the bomb. Because the explosion was large enough, making the soldiers run for their lives, and this was used by the Expendables team to counterattack them. Barney, who saw Sandra being taken by James, immediately destroyed the helicopter that James was going to use to escape. James, who saw the helicopter had been blown up, decided to take Sandra out of the military base, but Barney managed to intercept it. James tried to threaten Barney by pointing a gun at Sandra's head. After Barney put down his weapon, James immediately shot him mercilessly, but Barney was able to get up and shoot back at James brutally. The next day, after Valena Island was deemed safe, Barney said goodbye to Sandra. Arriving at the Expendables headquarters, they celebrated their success. Even there was also Gunner, who had regretted his actions and rejoined them. They will continue other interesting missions, and that's how the movie ends. What do you think of this movie? Please write your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit the like button, and support our channel by subscribing, so that we stay motivated to create more interesting content for you to enjoy. And until next time.